Hi, I'm Angie Pontani. I'm a burlesque dancer, and this is how I work it. I'm gonna take you through 24 hours of my beauty and wellness routine. I've been doing burlesque for over 20 years, and it's hard to say how many shows I've done, but I think thousands, a lot of shows. As a burlesque dancer, putting an act together, it's only 5 minutes on a stage, but it literally probably takes about 6 months to develop everything from your costume, to your music, to your choreography, and to any other props. So on top of being a burlesque dancer, I'm also a mom to a 4-year-old baby girl. The hardest part of my job is definitely balancing work and being a mom. I don't want to miss a second with my daughter. But my job is a little crazy in that it requires a lot of travel, a lot of late nights. The best part is the adventures that I get to go on with my family. My husband's a musician. I can often bring my daughter with me. It never gets boring because every day it's a new stage, it's a new audience, it's a new city.
Well, sun's up. It's about like 6:15, 6:30. Heard something? This is my alarm clock. All right, let's wake up. Let's move. Let's activate.
The first thing I do is try to get her ready for school. I make her breakfast, and we always sit down and eat breakfast together.
Got my coffee. Oh, room service. There you go.
Oh, no, apples.
You don't want apples. Today we don't like apples. Yesterday we loved apples.
I basically run her to school in my pajamas.
Time for me to go to school.
That's right, let's go.
And then I'll come back home and I will wash my face, put on my gym clothes. Before I go to the gym, I use Mother Dirt. It is like a probiotic for your face, right? And sweat kind of kicks it into hyper gear. I'll let it sit for a few minutes and then I put the moisturizer on. I actually spray it on my entire body because as a burlesque dancer, of course it's face forward, but everybody's going to see almost everything. So I want everything to be looking like really good and healthy.
Now it's time to hit the gym. Wake up my body, get everything moving from my shows tonight.
So I definitely hit the gym every day for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. As a dancer, I feel like I have to just stay on top of my physicality. And I also needed to kind of clear my mind. That's a wrap on the gym. Now I'm going home and then I will eat. I usually make a shake. It's a protein and vegetable and fruit shake. And I put some collagen in there. And then I have that as my second breakfast.
Collagen and greens.
While my daughter's at school, that is when I pack my costumes because it's virtually impossible to pack anything when she's home.
Corset, a panty, snap off sides, tricks of the trade, and of course, pasties.
Forgetting a piece of your costume is a critical mistake because part of the whole charm of the performance is the tease and reveal of it. So if you forget one of your layers, you're gonna throw your whole costume off balance and it might not even work at all. Since I've had her, I've showed up at shows and I'm like, where's this? Where's this? And she took it out and put it somewhere else on one of her dolls.
Sissy opened my door today and said, Mom, my leg is brown. I just want to show you a little bit of what I saw first. Brown handprints. Bathroom. That's body makeup. See another day looking like. Oh my gosh. Oh, Sissy.
She's usually pretty happy to see me when I pick her up at 2.
How was your day at school?
Good.
Keep your head on. It's cold out all of a sudden, huh? All right, here we go.
So we'll come home, we'll have a little snack.
It is homework time, but first things first, sis. What are you writing?
My name.
Okay, let's do it. S-I-S. Good.
I'm gonna have to leave around 6 or 7 p.m.
Bath time.
I jump in the tub because I just feel like that gets my skin really nice and prepped for all the makeup that I'm about to slather all over it. In burlesque, we wear a lot of body makeup. I use Dermablend. If your skin is dehydrated and flaky, nothing's gonna look good. So that's why moisturizing is really, really important for us. I use like an almond oil on my body. Sometimes I'll use a coconut oil. I do a sunblock all the time for my tattoo care and just for my skin care. That's something that I'm very conscious of because, you know, you get older, your tattoos are gonna age you faster than anything else. I love doing my makeup backstage, but I'm not always afforded that luxury. It really depends on what time the babysitter can get to my house. I can get ready in 45 minutes when I'm by myself in a dressing room alone. When I'm at home, I really allot myself 3 to 4 hours to get ready.
Hi, it's time to start makeup now.
I'll spray my Mother Dirt on my face, I'll do my moisturizing oil, and then I'll come in with my primer. And I like to let that sit for a while before I put my makeup on. I use a Smashbox Photo Finish. I do a healthy amount of it. You know, when we go on stage, we have tons of makeup on, and I want it to stay put. So it's giving you a nice canvas to work off of. Before I set my hair, I'll use a little pomade in it, and I discovered this because my husband has a big pompadour, and this is what he uses in his hair. So I'll run a little bit of this through my hair, and then I brush it through, and then I will roller or hot set my hair, because I want that to sit really as long as it can.
What kind of hair are we gonna do for the show?
Curly hair.
Okay, you're the master.
I pull the front of my hair into a big kind of pompadour, so I'm only gonna curl the back of my hair. I twist it any which way the wind blows. I think the most important thing is just not grabbing too big clumps of hair. Costumes can really range, but I don't really feel like you can get a custom-made costume for less than $2,500, $3,000.
Making a quick pit stop in Manhattan to pick up my new costume from Ghetto Spout.
Tony.
It's perfect. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Then when you want to crystal it, it's really expensive. And then you get this beautiful costume and you throw it on the floor. I'm gonna let this stay like this and cool off. You need full coverage for stage. I use the Makeup Forever foundation. We wear a ton of eye makeup. And with that, it makes a huge mess down here. So now I do not put my foundation on under my eyes or in this area. It's the last thing I do. I'm gonna fill in my eyebrows a little bit. They are microbladed, which has saved me a lot of time ever since becoming a mom. In the 90s, I was influenced by Drew Barrymore, and I tweezed off all my eyebrows. So they never came back, much like my mother told me. You need a strong, strong brow in burlesque. The first thing that I do when I do my eyes is I start with the white oil-based cream. It gives my eyeshadow a really good base to hold on to. This is Ben Nye. In burlesque, it's like you can use any color you want, but you just want to do some subtle shading to really enhance your eye. And I always like a little bit of shimmer. Burlesque girls like shimmer and glitter. The lights hit the glitter and it really creates a 3D effect. This thing I love, and my daughter actually bit a bite out of it, but it is my Sephora, the color switch, and it's just a little sponge. She bit it. She's like, I bit it. Crazy things happen. So then I come in on the crease with a little bit of a darker color, and it's always just kind of going with this almond shape to open it up a bit. Some of these stages, you're really, really far away from people, and so they're losing all the detail of your face. So the whole idea is to contour so that they can get that 3 dimension. This is an area also where I want a lot of lightness. That also helps to open up the eye. A little bit of my white Ben Nye cream right under here, under the arch of my eyebrow, just to amplify the white that I'm gonna put on. A lot of stripteases in the eyes, and I really like to make eye contact with the audience members as well. So now I just come over this white here with this MAC white powder. There's 2 things that are synonymous with burlesque makeup: a really strong cat eye and red lips. And this eyeliner is amazing for the cat eye. This is House Laboratories. One of the beauties of burlesque makeup is they don't have to be exactly perfect with this, because when I put on that big lash, it kind of is gonna obscure any errors that I might have made. Cat eyes are sisters, not twins. This is actually a shimmer eyeshadow, a liquid eyeshadow, but it just creates a shadow that's opening it. It's all about the 3 dimension. Burlesque is all about satire, and it's a wink and a smile. I think one of the hardest parts about being a burlesque dancer, especially when I started, was the misconception about what it is. Burlesque is about the theatrical journey to the pasties and the G-string, and that's as far as you go in burlesque. But for 5 minutes, you're dancing around in a gown, and then it quick changes into something else, and then it quick changes into something else. So I'm getting out there and I'm putting out this image like hourglass figure, all these bells and whistles, but it's kind of a joke too. That's why it's so palatable to so many people, because you're taking this high femininity, you're taking sexuality, you're taking all these things that kind of maybe make people nervous sometimes, and you're making a joke out of it. And at the end of the day, the joke's on me. So if I can laugh at myself, then the audience can certainly laugh at that as well. I blush on my high cheekbone, and again, that's to create more definition. So you're gonna be attracted to right here. And then to enhance this, I usually use a shimmer right here, but my daughter took mine. So this is an eyeshadow from MAC, but it's the same difference really. So I'll just take a little bit of it and just kind of tap it here, and it'll just give me a little bit of highlight. In burlesque, you want a lash that's big, but you don't want a lash that's too big, because sometimes they'll actually cast a shadow on your face. And I'll use my lashes maybe like 5 times before I toss them to the wind. Some tricks I learned from drag queens back in the days. When you put a lash on, you don't want to come down close to the inner corner of your eye. You want to put it here a little bit and then have the end go up a little bit. So it kind of rides out the cat eye that I've done.
These nails are good for zhuzhing your lash.
I like this shape. It's the stiletto, but not too sharp because I can't poke my baby. My nails used to be so long before I had sis. All right, so now that my eyes are done, I'm gonna come underneath and I meet my ends. And I even work out the cat eye a little bit with the shadow just to enhance it. I like to blend a little bit, but not too much. The separation is really what gives you those hits from the stage. When I blink, you get that flash of light from in here. So I will just run a little mascara underneath to join mine with my new one. I got my baby wipes. Leftover baby wipes. They're always in my bag. And I just clean up what fell. And now I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna finish up my foundation. There are days where you feel bloated and you don't feel as confident. And you know, you just have to push it to the back of your mind and you just have to get out there. The minute that you get on stage, that kind of all goes away. We call the stage Dr. Footlights. And that's because when you step on Dr. Footlights, almost anything could happen. Like you could step on a nail, you could break your arm, but you go out there and you do it and it all goes away and you feel great. I did burlesque when I was pregnant and it was a big old surprise. So I had all these shows lined up. I let a lot of the people know that had booked me like, hey, you know, I am pregnant. There were some people that were like, you know, let's not do this, but mostly everybody was fine with it. So I worked up until I was about 6 months pregnant. At that point, I really couldn't fit into any of my costumes anymore. So now that I have my face mostly done, I will just spray it with my mister. I use Makeup Forever, the Mist and Fix. If I'm going throughout a night with a lot of shows, I will just mist it every once in a while and bring it back to life. Crazy things happen all the time on stage. Pasties go flying, headdresses fall off, malfunctions all the time. You kind of have like the opposite Janet Jackson where you get stuck in your costume. Sometimes if you pull the wrong string, you double knot the corset instead of untie it. And if you double knot a corset, you are not getting it off. Once I forgot to put on the bottoms of my costume and I was doing my dance, I was getting ready to like whip off my bottom layer and I'm like, I don't feel my thong. And I didn't have it on. So that was really good that I didn't whip away that bottom layer. You just can't panic. You just have to be calm and collect it, much like in life, because if you panic, you're just gonna make it worse. All right, so now I'm gonna go in for my hair and my hair is a little bit greasy. So I use this dry shampoo. Chlorine, you have to let it sit for like a couple minutes. Not only does it absorb the oil, it like improves your hair texture. It makes it more pliable. So I'm just gonna let that marinate and now I'll pull out these guys back here. I'm just gonna tease, and this is like the process where you start to look like a crazy person. So I want lots of volume, just a little bit on the sides. I like all my height at the top. Got a big head, which is good for stage, but I want to amplify on top, not around. I do use hairspray and I use Big Sexy. So I tease it a little bit, I spray it, and then I tease it some more. And depending on, you know, what mood I'm in or what mood my hair's in, I will either go for like an Elvis pompadour on top of my head or more of like a Betty Grable, like victory roll. Very glamorous. And now I just shape it. No, I'm definitely gonna go more Elvis. And then I just pull everything in with bobby pins. And I love this comb, which is like literally, this was my mom's comb, I think from the 1960s. It's a fishtail bristle. It's hair flip proof. I can move my head around on stage as much as I want, and this will stay put. I think Angie Pontani on stage she's fun, she likes to have fun, she's everybody's friend. She's definitely sexy, and it's funny because I don't think of myself as sexy, like sexy is not my thing. I love to make big Italian dinners. I like to sew and do all these things that are very girl next door, lady next door. So when you pair that with this high glam personality, it's like if your Italian grandma was a burlesque dancer. But younger. So my hair is pretty much done. I take this powder, which is, I think it's to cover gray hairs. On stage, I really want a dramatic hairline. So I'll come in where it's not so defined and I define it a little bit more with this powder. I mean, it's a subtle thing. It just kind of lends to that picture perfect look. Ah! Look what I just did. What a mess. Probably a sign from the goddess to just stop. For my body hair, I lasered years ago in my bikini line, but other than that, I just shave. Sometimes I epilate if I can, you know, build up my pain resistance. Ow. It's worth it. Silky smooth. It pulls out the hair, but it literally doesn't grow back for 2 to 3 weeks. And when it grows back, it's really fine, but it really, really hurts. Red lips are like really synonymous with burlesque, so I love Inappropriate Red from NARS, and I also love Red Lizard. I line my lip, and then I have my True Red, Inappropriate Red. And now comes like the big burlesque secret I want to share. This is the #1 question that people ask me after a show. Well, first they'll say, I didn't realize you were so short, and then they'll ask me about my lipstick. You take red glitter, and you just loosely take it on your finger and let the magic begin. And it's kind of like disco lips. The sparkle makes it more fun, but it also can make a big mess in your house. My red glitter lipstick. There it is, all over the floor, up in Poopsie's head. And this pops on stage. You're gonna be drawn more to my face and to my lips because of my sparkly red lips. They're mesmerizing. Isn't it amazing? It's crazy, right? Then I just come in with a little loose powder and I'm ready to go. I'm ready for my show, and this is so crazy, an obstacle course. Sis, what do I have to do?
You have to go under and under and leap.
Under, and leap. This is terrifying. Okay, sis, I'm doing it. Let's see you do it. This is amazing. Let's go, do it, girl, do it. So I'll make sis her dinner, sit her down. Got your dinner for you.
Carrots, I love carrots.
Yay! Here you go, mama. Waka waka bunny bunny. Very nice. Babysitter comes over. They usually get a kick out of this. Sissy, guess who's here?
Shay.
Shay's here. Let's say hey, Shay. Hey, Shay.
Hey, Sissy.
Let me kiss little monkey. I love you. Whoa. Be a good girl. Pee before you go to bed.
Okay.
And then I'm off. I'll jump in my car and head into the city and head to my show. We'll usually get there an hour, 2 hours before the show. I'll load in, unpack my costumes, get everything set up in the dressing room. We'll do a sound check, run through anything specific in the show. Then I go backstage and I just start to get ready. I'll put on my body makeup. That's something that I always do at the venue. If you get a giant bruise, you don't want that on stage. You got your 3 minutes. You want it to seem like it's just coming right out of a movie. It's like a little bit of a fairy tale land. So you don't want someone like looking at your leg. I mean, oh, it looks like she fell down the stairs. Anything that's too real can snap you out of that stage moment. You can't put lotion on your boob before you put pasties on because then they will fly right off. Actually, a lot of the girls will prep by rubbing like an alcohol pad on your breast before you put the pasties on and let it dry. If you're just using like 2 pasties for a couple nights in a row, it's not painful. When it gets painful is with repetition. Definitely hurt when I was nursing and I was wearing pasties. I used to be in the dressing room pumping. Showbiz! Oh, yeah.
I believe it. Thank you, everybody.
Let's do it.
Let's have a great show tonight, everybody.
So I'm gonna do my first show. My pump up song is, I'm very stereotypical Italian American right now, but it's Eye of the Tiger, man. Sometimes, you know, you feel a little intimidated to get up on the stage and you're like, I don't have it in me tonight. And if I put on Eye of the Tiger and I just get into it, I can do it. When you're on your period, there are a couple different things that you can do because there's probably one of the worst things in the world could be a tampon string hanging out. So what I do is I just snip the string a little bit so that there's no way that it could come out. And if I don't have my scissors, I just pull it up and I use body tape. I'll do my performances, come back, pack everything right back in that bag, make sure I have everything, and as soon as the show's over, we'll do a curtain call. I'm out the door, jump in a cab, head to the next venue for the second show. My husband and I are traveling back and forth between Las Vegas and New York a lot because we have a show at the Nomad and it's after dark and it's my husband and I and we have a variety of guest performers. So we're going out to Vegas for these stretches of time and we're totally like the Osmond family. An average time that I get home can really vary. It's about 1:30. There's my dog, my welcoming committee. And I'm home. I try to go to bed as quickly as possible, which is hard because when I get home late, you know, I have to take a shower. I cannot get in bed with all this on. So the body halo is like this little round piece of fabric and it's a makeup remover that just simply requires water. And then you can throw it in the washing machine because it's fabric. and then I just hop in bed and go right to sleep. It can be very challenging to get home that late and have to get up early in the morning and take care of sis, but you've got to do it. Having a daughter and working, it seemed unsurmountable when it first started to come together, but now I've got it into a nice groove, and she works with me and we do it, and it's like there's nothing you can't do, really.
And that is it. Another day done. I gotta give somebody a little quiet sleepy kiss goodnight. And off to bed I go. All right, everybody. Good night. Lights out.